Pink makeup can make you look fresh and youthful, or tired and old in 5 minutes if the tones and placement are off. So today I'll show you exactly how to wear pink in soft, modern way with a cloud skin and blurred lips. What usually goes wrong? If you use too much foundation, pink starts to look heavy instead of romantic. The biggest mistake are these: the pink is too icy, the skin looks flat or overloaded, and the lips are too sharply outlined. So today the goal is soft skin, gentle dimension, and pink tones that still feel alive on the face. For this look, I don't want full coverage. I want skin that still looks like skin, just smoother, fresher, and slightly blurred. That's the whole cloud skin effect. Let's mix our own skin tint. I like to start with a face cream, then add a tiny bit of a hydrating concealer with a glowing finish. I mix it on the back of my hand, it warms up and becomes more fluid. And then I melt it into the skin like a regular moisturizer, just with a bit more coverage. Apply only where needed and blend outward. I'm applying this light skin tint very strategically, mostly in the center of the face, then blend it outward. I don't want to cover everything, just because pink makeup always looks fresher when the base is thin. The next step matters a lot. If the under area is dark, pink makeup can instantly read as tired. So I only neutralize where I actually need it, not masking the whole face. This is the key correction moment. Apply concealer only in the inner corners, along the lash line, and around the nose. And maybe on any small blemishes. That's it. I use my fingertips to really melt the product into the skin and control how much I apply. And after a few minutes, once everything settles, you'll notice the skin looks beautiful, not overly glow, not flat matte, just softly balanced with a natural, healthy finish. Next step is blush. For pink makeup, placement is everything, so we'll combine 2 shades, one saturated and one more dusty. I'm keeping the saturated pink on the apples of the cheeks and diffusing it upward, so the look stays cute, soft and natural. I blend it with my fingertips, very quick and simple. And I also start from the center of the cheek and gently move outward until the color melts seamlessly into the skin. And this balmy texture is especially beautiful on the dry skin. Look at that glow, it naturally gives a lifting effect, like healthy, well-moisturized skin. Let's add a little to the bridge of the nose, keep it minimal and build if needed. Stopping at the right moment is the hardest part, I feel you. Otherwise, you'll risk that too flushed look. Just a tiny bit on the forehead as well, and that's it. Now I'm going in with a dusty pink, slightly warm, softer, and not an icy pink. This helps us keep heavy contouring, and it also blends the brighter color into the skin. Think of it as a transition shade between the skin tint and the pink blush. It's a newer shade in my collection. After loving brighter pinks last spring, I decided, okay, I want something calmer for everyday looks. I also apply it along the cheekbones and temples for lifted, fresh effect. Spring makeup really favors soft, diffused blush over a harsh placement. You can also tap a tiny amount of the pink onto the eyelids. But I prefer to keep it simple, using eye tint all over the lid, perfect for those effortless makeup days. Apply it with the applicator, wait a few seconds for it to set slightly, and then blend. I usually use my fingertip. The warmth makes everything blend faster and smoother. The color looks a bit more muted, slightly brownish after blending, and that's exactly the idea. This kind of pink works because it doesn't fight the skin. The base is light, the blush is diffused, and the edges are soft, so everything feels airy. If you feel like pink doesn't suit you, it's usually not the color itself. It's the undertone. To make pink look intentional, I like repeating a hint of it on the lids and on the outer corners. So just a sheer wash, very soft, very blurred. Balance it with mascara or soft taupe liner so the eyes don't look puffy. If you already have pink eyeshadows but don't know how to wear them without looking tired, add the gray-brown shade to the outer corners. This acts as a transition color. It tones down the brightness and adds the slightly dusty effect. I apply it to the outer corners and blend with a fluffy brush, using soft side-to-side motions, just for a diffused finish. No harsh lines here. I also love using a pencil for subtle contouring, Let's do a quick nose contour. I cut the tip slightly, blend it with my fingertip, and then softly define the sides of the nose. It gives that snatched, refined effect without looking heavy. Time for blurred pink lips. Let's make them look fuller. I contour them like this. Using the same pencil, I go just under the lower lip, define the cupid's bow, and softly touch the corners. Then I blend everything with my fingertip. We don't need sharp lines here. We are not outlining here. We are contouring. And it's all about creating an illusion of depth. Shadow and light do the work. Let's try together the new lipstick in my collection. I've heard so many good things about this product. And it's actually not a classic lipstick. It has a balmy, velvety texture, very lightweight, slightly blurring, and with a soft matte finish that still feels smooth and comfortable on the lips. Really unique. I concentrate the color in the center of the lips and then blur it out with my finger. For this look, I'm not doing a defined lip line. Keeping the edges soft makes the lips look more diffused and modern. This is exactly what makes pink feel chic right now. Not too perfect, not too glossy, and not too matte, just softly blurred. Next, my balancing step. This one is optional, but I love it. When pink feels too floating on its own, the face can lose structure. So I add a bit of definition right at the lash line to ground everything and keep the look polished. For mascara, placement matters more than layers, and I start right at the roots and really wiggle the wand into the base of the lashes. And this is where you create depth and that soft liner effect without actually using liner. Then I slowly slide the wand upward, stretching the lashes rather than overloading them. I'm using a thin wand, which makes a big difference. It grabs every lash, separates them, and keeps everything clean and fluffy. I don't want heavy, dramatic lashes here, just length, definition, and lift. Focus most of the product at the roots and keep the ends lighter. And this way, the lashes look long and airy, not thick or clumpy. If needed, you can go back with the tip of the wand and lightly define the outer corner for a subtle lifting effect. The lashes should stay soft, separated, and slightly fanned out. This becomes the darkest point in the makeup, which balances all the softness from the pink tones and brings the whole look together without making it heavy. I genuinely love this look, so this is the final result. Pink makeup, but soft, fresh, and completely wearable, with a cloud skin, diffused cheeks, and blurred lips. It feels light, modern, and effortless, like your skin is just naturally glowing and everything melts together seamlessly. Tell me in the comments, would you actually wear pink like this, soft and blurred? Or do you prefer more defined classic look? And what's your biggest struggle with the pink makeup? Undertone, placement, or making it look fresh instead of tired? I'm reading everything and I'll help you fix that. If this was helpful, don't forget to save this video so you can come back to it and send it to your friend who thinks pink doesn't suit her. We are changing that today. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more detailed step-by-step makeup tutorials, especially if you have hooded eyes or struggle with the placement. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!